Hi everyone, this is our beautiful Rios Weave cowl. It's all completed and I've just got a little video to follow that'll show you how to do the cables and a few different ways to do cables. I've had a bit of fun with this. So if you are new to cables, watch this little video on how to do cables and you can make the Rios Weave cowl. So it's something simple, super soft, one ball of Malabrigo Rios, and you get your pattern for free when you buy a yarn. And you can make this cute little cowl. So watch the video. What I've done with this is I've done a one ball project and I've called this Rios Weave. It's a cowl. Now this isn't finished, so I can't show you the finished product, but it will be a crossed over cowl with a couple of lovely buttons in it. I don't have a pre-sample. I actually I sold off my sample, so this was my new sample, and I thought, well, while I'm at it, let's have a look at making some cables. So this is one of those knits that doesn't have anything else but cable, and a lot of people are really scared of it. So let's have a look at making cable. This has got a front cable and back cable, so nice and easy. And there are no stitches in between, so it's pretty easy to get this one right. So just let me adjust my camera angle and we will have a play with cable. Okay, so this pattern calls for what's either called a cable 8 front or a cable 8 back. So what that means is our cable involves 8 stitches, usually 4 that are crossed over and 4 that are not, but make sure you read your abbreviation so you know what you're doing. This one that I'm up to is a cable 8 front. So I'm going to do something fun. I've got 6 cables that I have to do across here. I am going to use 6 different implements to make my cable, just to show you that you don't have to use a cable needle. And the reason why I decided to do this was because I was in the car the other day and got caught short without a cable needle. So we need to, for this pattern, I need to slip 4 stitches off onto my cable needle and hold them at the front. We always slip our stitches off purlways, so purlways being in that way, straight in that way. Knit ways would be that way, but we don't want to twist our stitches. So there's our 4 stitches. And it says, and the pattern is to hold them at the front. If it was a hold it at the back, then it'd be hold it at the back. So we're going to hold it at the front, then we're going to knit the next 4. So we're going to knit the next 4. Now we just need to be careful not to pull this one. This is the first stitch. Don't pull it down too ridiculously hard, otherwise your sides will curl. So the pattern says we hold 4 at the front, then we knit the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have to knit the 4 that are on the cable needle. So there's the 4 that are on the cable needle, and we just need to, without twisting them, so the stocking stitch side is still visible, without twisting them, we bring them up to the knit position and we knit those 4. So in effect, all I've done is I've switched the stitches and knitted the second lot of 4 first and the first lot of 4 twice. So imagining if I had 4 stitches on my needle, instead of knitting across this 4 and across this 4, all we've done is we've held this 4 out, knitted this 4, and then we've knitted this 4, and that's given us a cable that goes over the top. If we held this first 4 to the back and we knitted that, then we'd have our cable would be behind, and it would look that way. So that's our first one, done with a regular Knit Pro cable needle. This is a straight one with some little ridges in it. So what that means is when you put it in there, it doesn't slide out. The next one I'm going to use is a more regular cable needle that does have a little bend in it. So this cable is exactly the same. So we're not doing anything different across this row. 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, and we hold them at the front. We leave them on our little bump. Then we're going to knit this 4. So knit this 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can see that this little needle is sticking into me. I personally have a couple of favourite suggestions. So we're going to knit the 4 off the cable needle, make sure they're not twisted. That's another cable mate. So when you're doing something that's cable, generally we'll do, this is for this pattern, we cable this row, and then it's got 5 either knit or purl rows. So you're not generally cabling every row. So that's the 2 cable needles. If we haven't got a cable needle, what about if we use a crochet hook? So I'm just going to slip them onto my crochet hook. So all we're really needing to do is a thread there. I'll just put that there. So we'll do exactly the same thing, but we can use a crochet hook. So long as whatever you're putting into your stitches to hold them isn't, this is a bit cumbersome, the crochet hook, but it'll get you out of trouble. I just don't like the fact that it's so in the way. But if I was stuck and I had a crochet hook, well then I would use my crochet hook. So we're just going to, so you can see with all the cable needles, you put them on one end, slide them up to the other end, and use them off the other end. So I've done 3 cables now, so that's 3 things that we've used. All right, so the next one is, here it is, desperation sets in, hairpin. Still works. 1, 2, 3, and actually the hairpin's surprising because the hairpin can sit down there and it's not in my way. So the hairpin isn't such a bad thing to have a go at, because you can see still holding my stitches there without any dramas, and they're not, my stitches aren't running away. Some people don't use a cable needle, they can pinch them and whatever, but I like the see, this is not ideal if that side was shorter, but we're in a pinch, and rather than not knitting, we are going to persevere with it. So if this is uncomfortable to use the pin, what we can do is we can actually thread them onto the other needle, which I'll show you in a second when I use my next grand plan. So 1, 2, 3. 4. So because this isn't very big, it has let the stitches slide down a little bit. They're still there, but it's just they're a bit harder to work into. So that's our 4th one. Our 5th one, which is the one I had to use in the car the other day, was a sewing needle with a bit of yarn on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Drag it onto the yarn, hold it at the front. It actually wasn't too bad because it doesn't get in the way. The only painful thing with this one is, excuse me, to actually reuse these stitches, you need to pop them back onto the original needle to reuse them. So it just takes a little bit longer. Pop them up on there, and then you can pull this one out. So, and then we can just knit them. So that is 5 different ways of doing a cable, as in 5 different implements to do a cable. And my last one, which I actually quite like, is a circular needle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, leave it on there. So it's not in the way too much. This circular is probably a bit long, but it does work. So just goes to show, it doesn't really matter, so long as your stitches don't make a break for it. Doesn't really matter what you're using. So up on there, up on the, see, I don't mind the circular. I find that it stays out of my way, but I've got a knitting needle to knit off. So I do actually quite like using the circular to hold my stitches. Something's gone a bit mutant there. Always happens when you're doing a demo, you get something mutant going on. All right, so there we have 6, our cable. So this abbreviation is cable 8, so C8F. So the entire cable involves 8 stitches, where we're bringing 4 to the front, knitting the next 4, and then knitting those other 4 off the needle. But cables can be any combination. You just have to make sure you read your abbreviations. So the next thing that's going to happen with this particular one is a purl row, a knit row, a purl row, a knit row, a purl row, and then we do cable 8 behind. So exactly the same as what I've just done, except it'll be this one that's going that way. So instead of us being that way, we'll be that way, and that gives us this kind of plaited effect. And that's as easy as cable is. It is not tricky, and you can see you can use all sorts of different implements for it. So this scarf is the Rios Weave scarf. The kits are I think about $28, something like that. It's just one ball of the Malabrigo Rios, and we give you your pattern for free. It's simply a strip, and it has nothing else in it but a row of cable and 5 rows of knit or purl. So it's really quite a great introduction into knitting cables.